actress Lena Dunham can't seem to stop saying stupid things. Now, in the most recent episode of her Women of the Hour podcast, Dunham talks about how she visited a Planned Parenthood clinic in Texas. Now, when she was on that trip, somebody asked her to join a project in which women would speak about their abortions. Now, look, I'm in favor of that, okay? Yeah, if you want to go out and speak out for your abortion or about your abortion, that's great. Now, I am, of course, hugely pro-freedom, which means, of course, I am pro-choice. Now, I'm also a guy that doesn't have any authority to speak on the issue of abortion. Let's keep that in mind, but look, I'm going to do that anyway, because why not? Still, I think, as I said, getting women to be open about their experiences when it comes to this very sensitive topic is not a bad thing. It's a good thing, especially if it causes some women to rethink their stances on abortion, whether or not you're on the pro side or anti side. Okay, I can only see a conversation as a good thing. Now, Dunham, of course, look, I'm going to be super, super fair to her, even though my original intent was to shred her. I'm going to try to be fair, okay, the best of my ability. I see that she is attempting to be supportive. That's a good thing. We're on the same side when it comes to the policies of this issue, right? Now, she said, quote, "I sort of jumped. I haven't had an abortion. I told her I wanted to make it really clear to her that as much as I was going out and fighting for other women's options, I myself have never had an abortion." Okay, well, look, again, that's fine. This is her just retelling her opinion, where she is on this issue. Okay, again. And for me personally, I respect everybody who fights for reproductive freedom. As again, policy-wise, we're on the same side. So, yes, this is a nice moment. But she's going to ruin that moment. Now she says, "Even I, the woman who cares as much as anybody about a woman's right to choose, felt it was important that people I know I was unblemished in this department. Now I can say that I still haven't had an abortion, but I wish I had." Oh dear God. You know what you do? You don't say stuff like that.
Don't you ever do that. Don't you ever do that. I tell you, don't do it.
Don't do it, man. Don't do it.
Cut it out.
Don't say things like that. That's ridiculous.
Give me a break.
I mean, come on, man. No, Lena, no, just no, don't do it. Don't do it. You don't say stuff like that. Okay? That is not helping. That is not helping the situation. Now, I get it. Her statement, yes, is one of support. But again, the way that it was said, not helping. You don't just come out and say, "I wish I had an abortion." No. You know why? Because this is the kind of thing that an anti-choice is going to jump all over. And in fact, saying this, look, let me frame it in the way that a right-winger is going to see this, right? This is what they think the entire left is like. I can assure you, no, that is not the case. The entire left is not going to say, "Oh, I wish I had an abortion so I could support you." No, what you say is, "I respect your right, your liberty to make your own choices. Even if I don't agree with, or even if I do agree with abortion, I'm still going to respect your choice to do so. And I'm not going to let the government take it over." Instead of saying, that would be much better instead of saying, "I wish I had an abortion too, so I could like be one of you," or something. Ridiculous. Now, of course, even when you put it in that context, right? The context that it was of support, it sounds painful. It's cringy. It hurts. I know what she's trying to say, but it's so just facepalm worthy that it's so facepalm worthy that you can't make sense of this, okay? And what it does is that it casts a bad light on the pro-choice movement. And in so doing, it does more harm to women's rights than it does good. Even though I know from her record she is a huge supporter of reproductive rights. And again, I respect her for that, and that's it. Now, of course, she sort of apologized on Instagram after she got all the heat for this, writing that her intention for the episode had been to, quote, tell a multifaceted story about reproductive choice in America. She termed the gaffe as, quote, a distasteful joke that perhaps belonged more to her character on Girls. I've never watched Girls. I have no interest in watching Girls. But if her character is that much of a moron, I'm not missing out. She said, my words were spoken from a sort of delusional girl persona I often inhabit. A girl who careens between wisdom and ignorance. That's what my TV show is too. And it didn't translate. That's my fault. Again, are you sure that's just a persona? Because, I mean, I can't really tell with all the ridiculous things you've said. Well, not in character. And look, finally, again, I know I don't have any room to talk. And if you want to accuse me of mansplaining, perfectly fair, perfectly fine. But all I want to do is just make sure that we can be here and protect women's choices over their own bodies. I don't have a dog in this fight. I know. But I still have the desire to say, hey, look, this is none of my business. This is not the government's business. Keep out. Government, keep the fuck out of women's reproductive health. Okay? I just want to make sure that people have their own choices. And in order to do that, you've got to frame the debate. You've got to frame the issue. And this is not the good way to frame the issue. Especially since Dunham, look, if she were a nobody on Twitter, you could ignore her. But she actually has a very high profile. So this helps no one. And with the incoming Trump-Pence administration, we have got to work together to fight even harder to change that framing, to change that conversation around abortion, to frame it as a more of a freedom issue, an issue of personal choice. And to take this back from social conservatives whose only goal is to take your choice away. And Dunham, you're not helping. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent, non-corporate media, go to our Patreon page and become a patron. Patreon.com/TYTNation.